Hello to everybody coming in. This is not going to be a very long live. I just wanted to hop in really quickly and talk to y'all or try to connect with y'all a little bit as we're under this Sirius Gateway portal. And we've been in it for the last few days, but today we're really kind of finishing up, or rather we're at the peak of this energy or at the height of this energy. My sister T, you guys also see me post her a lot over here on Holland Spices. She is also known as Egyptian Goddess Tarot, and she has been really keeping our sister tribe updated and abreast on this Sirius gateway that we found ourselves in. And so before we completely leave out of this energy, I just wanted to come on really quickly and kind of give the downloads or the messages that's been coming in for me, especially as I just got out of meditation. And I also just want to kind of, go over a little bit of what we can expect as we come out of this portal, and the things that Spirit is going to be dealing with us as it relates to this portal, and leaving behind those of us and releasing the things that some of us may still be in the process of doing. And for others of us, it's us really entering into a season of elevation. Or you may even found yourself feeling like you've been going or moving in and out of worlds today, or in and out of portals today, or maybe today was just very chill for you, and it was just a very easygoing day, and you found yourself being able to kind of connect with this energy a little bit more smoothly, or maybe you may be someone else who may be experiencing a breakdown, as we have so much changing energy around us. Especially as we are coming out of the new moon in Cancer, and we're about to move into the full moon in Taurus, I believe, next week sometime. So I'm not going to be on here long. I'm not even going to wait for people to come into the room. I'm just going to give the message and hop off. Really quickly tonight, I want to go over our Lampdomancy reading of what Spirit has to say as it relates to the sacred directions, and what the sacred directions would desire for us to know as we move through this portal, and as we move through the next 6 months or so. Okay, so let's jump right in. First, I want two of the directions that came forward as I was in my meditation was the southeast direction as well as the east direction. So those were the two directions or the places in which Spirit really kind of settled tonight as it relates to our Lampdomancy reading. But before we jump into our Lampdomancy reading, I want to go over our Music Mancy meditation and the messages that came forward from that. And then from there, we're going to jump into our two of our card pulls that came forward today that I think goes really beautifully with the messages and the symbology as it relates to the south, east, and the east direction. And then we're going to finish off with the messages from our Goddess Lamp, okay? So jumping right in, I hope that you all have been having a beautiful day thus far. I know that it's late for where a lot of you guys are, and so hello to each and every person who will watch the playback. I hope that you guys have been having a beautiful day. Let's jump right in. One of the Music Mancy meditations that came forward, and you guys can also choose to find some time to listen to these songs on your own and see how they resonate for you, and the messages that Spirit has for you individually as it relates to these songs. The first song is called We Need You by Cleo Soul. And basically the root message from this song that Spirit was really sending forth is alerting us to not lose hope. You know, we have so many things that are happening in our environment. We have so many things that are forcibly changing around us. And we also have things that are changing according to the consciousness of the collective and how conscious the collective becomes as we move forward. And so as we shift as a collective on a universal level, we are changing this planet whether we like it or not. And then in a lot of ways, we're being forced into changing our ways. We're being forced into changing our patterns. We're being forced into changing how we move about this land, what we move about this land with, and who we move about this land with. And so as we see so many changes taking place over the next 6 months, Spirit is really desiring and is sending home the message to not lose hope. No matter what it is that you see happening in your environment, as we come out of this Sirius Gateway portal on today, Spirit is really desiring for us to know on a collective level to not lose hope. No matter what it is that we see happening around us, no matter how many shifts and twists and turns that we're being sent through either forcibly or those who are willfully choosing it, Spirit is really desiring for you to know and for you to hear to not lose hope in your circumstance, or to not lose hope in your situation, or to not lose hope in how the world is changing, well, what the world is becoming, and where you will have a place in how the world changes. Don't lose your hope. Spirit is also desiring for us to get back to the understanding that we need each other. You know, there are a lot of things and in a lot of ways where individually we'll soar, you know, and we'll meet our elevation, but there are some journeys and there are some goals that some of you are trying to reach over the next 6 months that you're not going to be able to do it by yourself. And so Spirit is really desiring for us as a collective to get out of the mindset of me, or your individual person either overshadowing the collective, overshadowing in your tribe, or even overshadowing who you desire to be in the world, because you're taking on the mentality of I gotta do it by myself, or I've been doing it by myself. And so that's how I choose to move through the world. And as we shift over the next few months, especially as we see the world change so drastically as it relates to politics, as it relates to infrastructure, as it relates to food dynamics, as it relates to hierarchy and where we find ourselves, you know, in our places in the world, as we see so many things changing, Spirit is really desiring for us as a collective to get out of the mind frame of all I need is myself, and to really start integrating and finding where you belong as it relates to the collective, as it relates to your tribe, the work that you're putting into your tribe. How are you being effective? How are you helping? You know, how are you being of assistance? Are you allowing the individual self to overshadow the collective goal or the collective mindset? Okay, so Spirit is desiring for us to really understand that as we move forward from here, we're really going to be put into positions where we're forced to trust each other, okay, where you're forced to trust your community, where you're forced to trust your friends or your family. And if you know that you're surrounded by people where it's going to be very difficult for you to show vulnerability and trust, the Spirit is desiring for you to shift your circle, to shift your people, to shift your perspectives, to shift your goals, you know, to shift how you see yourself, so that you're able to attract the things that you should so desire on this journey that you're walking on, okay? Spirit is also sending forth the message from this Music Mancy meditation that we are going to experience victory in numbers. A lot of the shifts, the major shifts, especially as it relates to generational infrastructure changing, especially as it relates to us making the world, or trying to make the world a better place for the generations that are coming after us, because the generations or the purity of the youth is also coming forward under this Sirius gateway that we've been in for the last few days. But Spirit is really desiring for us to understand that a lot of the shifts that we desire to see on the planet, especially as it relates to government, especially as it relates to religious doctrine, especially as it relates to making the world a better place for each individual, Spirit is sending home the message that a lot of those shifts, a lot of those victories are going to come forward in numbers, and large numbers, and us working together as a collective, and us understanding and getting it on a collective scale, okay? The message that is also coming forth, the Spirit is sending home the notion of telling you, of telling me, of telling us, of telling each and every person who will stop and listen to this message, to not lose yourself in the world. Be in the world, but not of the world. Okay? Operate, play the game the way that you need to play it, but don't get lost in the chaos. Don't get lost in the confusion. Okay? Don't get lost in the setbacks. Don't get lost, in the breakdown. Don't get lost, in the flames and the smoke that you see coming up or glaring around you. Don't get lost and the gun wars that are taking place. Don't get lost and this government forcibly attaching laws to your body. Don't get lost and the gender conformity. Don't get lost and the gender confusion. Don't get lost in the setbacks that you're finding on your journey of making it to your goals. Don't get lost in the world. Stay focused. Stay focused on the goal. Stay focused on your mission, okay? Stay focused on your purpose. Stay focused on the self. And as we stay focused on the self, we benefit the collective as a whole as we move through this portal. So as we come, out of this Sirius gateway, Spirit is really desiring for us as we shift and change over the next 6 months to not get lost in the shifting and in the change, but stay planted. Spirit is also sending home the message to not lose faith. If you're somebody who has been experiencing lack of faith on your journey, or you're growing weary, or you're growing tired because you're not seeing the physical manifestations of the things that you spoke into the universe and said that you wanted, Spirit is desiring for you to pick yourself up and to not lose faith. Get up. Why are you getting weary? Get up. And don't lose your faith. And if you find that you're losing your faith, get back into your rituals so that they're able to fortify, okay, and ground you in the things that you most desire to see for yourself. But most importantly, they're going to ground you into the things that Spirit has shown you as it relates to your journey and as it relates to your path. So don't lose your faith. Okay, as we shift. And if you have lost your faith during this time, as we move through this gateway, for many of you, you're going to start being able to pick back up those little pieces of mustard seeds that you lost along the way because of the obstacles that you've been encountering on your journey. Okay. Also, Spirit is saying that we need your voice. As this song was playing, I felt the collective of the ancestors, the collective of the spirit of the spiritual guides that are orchestrating moves on behalf of all of us as a collective. I can see and feel them come forward, and they're really coming forward saying, we need your voice. We need your faith. We need your belief and understanding that we have the victory to overcome everything that has subjugated or put us underneath its foot. Okay? They're screaming and they're saying, we need your voice. Speak your truth. Speak out against false things. Speak out against false truths. Speak out against wrongdoing. Speak out against the things that you know are setting the collective backwards. Speak out and use your voice. Speak the truths that Spirit has been giving you. Speak the sentiments of your heart. Speak your own wisdom. Speak your truth. The ancestors are stepping forward and saying that we are speaking and operating on behalf of them, and that they are working in coordination with us to shift this planet the way that and into the spaces that we all know that we desire to be. Right now, we can look at the world politically, and we can see in so many different ways where they're trying to move us back or take us back in time. We see them uprooting laws. We see them implementing new ones. One thing that I thought was very fascinating that was taking social media by storm today was the Georgia Guidestones being destroyed. If that is not a clear move of Spirit and the power that we have had as a collective and sending vibrations out to the universe and saying, we sick of this shit. We don't want it to happen. It's not going to continuously happen. We've learned and we've been processing the lessons of the past. We've been learning and processing the lessons of our ancestors. We've been learning and processing the mistakes, the failures, the victory, and the successes of our ancestors. And we've learned how to implement those things. And with the help of implementing those things, we've also learned how to uproot what no longer serves us. What no longer serves us as an individual, and what no longer serves us on a collective level. Okay? So the ancestors are stepping forward and saying, speak your truth. They're also saying that it's easier for you to live in fear. Some would say that you can liken this to ignorance is bliss. We're no longer in a season where we can continue to move forward in this reality in a blissful ignorance. Spirit is really desiring for us, especially as we move through this Sirius Stargate portal. Spirit is really desiring for us to understand that there are no more limitations on us, to understand that there are no more restrictions on us unless you have not been doing your work. And if you know that you have been someone who has not been doing their work, Spirit is saying, don't be shocked by the restrictions. Don't be shocked by the limitations, but understand that the restrictions and the limitations are also not punishment, but they're your redirection. And Spirit is going to continue to redirect you, or it's going to continue to redirect us as a collective until we get the lessons that they're trying to show us, okay? So Spirit is desiring for us to come out of the mindset of fear. They're also saying to not give in to the obstacles, to not give in to the tests. And they're also sending home the clear message that we are coming into an era of freedom. What does freedom look like to you? What does freedom feel like to you? Okay, what levels of freedom will your family have access to that they may not have had access to during the lineage of your ancestral playing itself out during this time? How are you going to live your freedom out? How are you going to take back or command your freedom? Or are you going to continue to live in the restrictions that this government placed on top of you? Are you going to continue to live in the confines of the labels that this government is desiring for you to live within? Or are you going to choose your freedom for yourself? And if you're going to choose your freedom for yourself, what does that look like? What does that look like practically? What does it look like in your home? What does it look like for the people that are connected to you? Okay? So Spirit is sending on the message that we are moving into an era of freedom, but you must choose it, okay? Spirit is also desiring that you cry. For many of you, there's a lot of pent-up emotions, a lot of built-up emotions that you are not releasing because for whatever reason, you feel like crying makes you weak. And Spirit is desiring for you to release so that you can release these blockages. And as you release these blockages, leave them in this gateway. Leave them at this Sirius portal so that you are able to walk into your liberation, so that you're able to walk into your freedom, so that you're able to walk into your visions, into your dreams, okay? So Spirit is desiring for us to release this emotions, this built up emotion, this built up tension, especially as we're still in Cancer season. Happy birthday to all my Cancers. Especially as we're in Cancer season. If Cancer teaches us nothing else, Cancer really teaches us the lesson of our emotions, the lesson of how to embrace our emotions, but the lesson in also understanding and deciphering between which emotions serve us and which emotions stagnate us. So Spirit is really desiring for us to get in and to tap into and to come to some type of acceptance of the emotions that you've been pushing down or concealing, okay? And realizing that once you release the emotions, it's going to make you light enough in order for you to soar, in order for you to experience true freedom. And also for many of you, there's been like a holding of the breath. So Spirit is desiring for you to fix your breathing. or to study your breathing, or to figure out your breathing, to figure out why your breathing has been labored, to figure out what the restrictions are that surround your breathing. Maybe the issue of you experiencing trouble as it relates to your breathing is because you're not effectively communicating what it is that you need to communicate. Okay, so Spirit is really desiring for us to deal with our breath, to deal with our breath as it relates to the animation of this body, okay, to pay attention to the airways, okay, to pay attention to the lungs, to pay attention to how you treat the lungs, to pay attention to how you take care of the breath, implementing healthy meditation practices over these next 6 months, becoming more consistent in your meditative practices if you already have one. Spirit is really going to be working with us as it relates to our breath over the next few months, okay? The Archangel Gabriel steps forward from here, and he stepped forward. I guess this is a really good prelude into our card pulls. Two of the cards that came forward was Archangel Gabriel, which is the messenger of creativity and hope. And then the other card that came forward is potential. Potential. Think big for your future. Okay? So before we get to potential, let's cover really quickly Gabriel. So Archangel Gabriel steps forward as we are at the height of the Sirius Gateway portal. Gabriel steps forward, and when we look at the angel Gabriel, you know, is a representative of the messenger or counselor. Okay, so there's a lot of messages that's going to be coming forward. Pay attention to your dream state, but more importantly, pay attention to the messages that are coming in when you're not asleep. Because for a lot of you, there's been a lot of communication that's been coming forward, but you've been dismissing it because in your mind, it's like you're processing, trying to figure out, okay, if this is me, if I'm making it up, if I'm pulling it out of my ass, if I know what it is that I'm talking about. And Spirit is saying that you need to trust the messages that are coming forth. You need to trust the messages that are coming forth, because a lot of them are going to be messages centered around creativity. So this Sirius Gateway portal is really opening up an opportunity for us to reestablish our creativity, or to tap into our creativity in a different capacity. Okay, so Archangel Gabriel was a messenger and a counselor. He was known for his compassion and his wisdom. One thing that Spirit is really going to be charging us to do as we interact with each other moving forward over this next 6 months is really charging us to be and to have and to hold compassion for each other. Okay, and to use wisdom when dealing with each other. To use compassion for the happenings of the world. And as you're using compassion, make sure that you're also attaching your wisdom to what you see taking place on a collective scale as it relates to the world. Okay? So how can you use your compassion and your wisdom in a way that is going to serve you so that it can propel you over these next 6 months? Spirit is saying that you're going to catch more opportunities if you sweeten your tongue. You're going to catch more opportunities if you sweeten your hands. You're going to catch more opportunities if you sweeten your spirit, if you sweeten your mind, if you sweeten your listening. Spirit is saying that over the next 6 months, you're going to have to use and allow your wisdom and your compassion to go before you. Even when you coming across people that are playing in your face, or you're coming across people that are challenging your energy, how can you still remain in your compassion? How can you still act in your wisdom even when you're being tried over these next few months? Okay, Gabriel is often called on or often steps forward for people during times of heavy change and heavy transition. And so we've already seen a lot of change and a lot of heavy transitioning happening all over the planet. And so Gabriel is really stepping forward for us as we come And as we reach the height of the Sirius portal, Spirit is really, or Gabriel is really stepping forward as we come into these next few months of change, heavy change and heavy transition. Heavy changes within our homes, heavy changes within our family dynamics, heavy changes within your financial stability. Are you still playing poor? Are you still playing in the realms of struggle? Are you still playing with the lack mind? Okay? Do you feel like that as the world is shifting and changing, that you're going to be called, asked out? Spirit is desiring for you to use your foresight right now as we're under this portal and to redirect the path that you chose. Spirit is saying 3 months ago. There was a path that many of you chose 3 months ago. And Spirit is meeting you under this Sirius portal and is telling you to choose again. Redirect again. Retransition again. Even in all the hectic changes that it may bring, Gabriel is walking with you. Gabriel, Archangel Gabriel, is going to be stepping forward and assisting you in the changes and the transformations that are going to be happening for you over the next 6 months. And so if you find yourself going through or shifting through heavy transitions or heavy experiences, Gabriel is asking for you to call on him for assistance. Okay? Gabriel is also stepping forward to assist the prophets and to assist the seers. For a lot of you, as we shift out of this portal by sunrise, your abilities of being able to see accurately is going to be heightened. Spirit is saying as the sun begins to take seat in the sky in the morning, as the sun rises, so will your gifts. As the sun rises, so will your clairvoyance abilities. As the sun rises, so will your prophetic dreams. As the sun rises, so will the prophetic tongue that you encompass become and expand even greater. So Gabriel is also showing up right now at this portal to usher in the prophets and to usher in the seers. Will you take your position, or will you continue to play small? For many of you, walking into this portal is walking into your gifts. But Spirit is saying that I'm not going to invest in you if you're not going to invest in yourself in this season. I'm not going to assist you if you are not going to assist yourself in this season. Okay? Let's keep going. Gabriel's metaphysical symbolism of the y'all know we always gotta dig into a little metaphysical symbolism over here at the sanctuary. And when we look at Gabriel's metaphysical symbolism, it literally translates into, or it signifies, man's realization and demonstration of his I am power. So for many of you, as we've been under this portal and as we come out of this portal, it comes the reconnection to your spiritual power of the I am. How are you exercising your spiritual power? How are you exercising it? How are you exercising your gifts? Okay, how are you exercising your spiritual knowing? How are you exercising your divine mind and the capabilities of your divine mind? How are you putting your divine mind into action? How are you using this soul that we've all been given during this time to make a difference, not only in this world, but to make a difference in your own life? How are you using your life force energy in this season? So Gabriel metaphysically signifies man's realization and demonstration. Not only the realization, but the action to the realization. Gabriel is coming forward to help you understand that it's time for us to integrate the realization of who we are with the demonstration of what we come with. Okay? The realization of who you are and the demonstration of power that you come with. How are you going to integrate those two to create the reality that you desire to see behind you? Because the structures have fallen. There's no more limitations on you. There's no more excuses. How are you going to use your power, your spiritual power that you hold as the I am in this universe to orchestrate what you desire to have? How are you walking out of this portal standing in your spiritual power as the I am, as the Alpha and the Omega, as the beginning and the end? How will you walk into your powers as Gabriel? How will you show up as the divine messenger within you? Okay? Let's take Gabriel as being something outside of us, and let's now integrate it into our being. How are you showing up as the spiritual messenger for yourself? How are you acting as the divine messenger of compassion and wisdom for yourself? Okay? And then the last Music Mancy meditation is called a song called Spirit, and it's by an artist called Cleo Soul. And the messages from this song is literally, Spirit has a lot of us right now standing in the gateway of this portal, and they're washing us down. They're washing away the lack. They're washing away the limitations. They're washing away the frustrations. They're washing away the jealousy and the envy. Okay? They're washing away the lack. Okay? They're washing away the playing small. They're washing away the opposition. They're washing away the obstacles. Okay? They're washing away the limitations that you've placed on yourself. They're washing away the limitations that outside people have placed on you. And as you walk out of this portal, who are you walking out as? Okay? Spirit is also, the ancestors are also sending a message that they are on the ground physically. You can feel them. You can communicate with them. And they're asking, are you in a place where you can see me? Where you can see us? Are you in a place where you can interact with us? We're here on the ground. You don't have to look for us. You don't have to call us anymore. We've arrived. And we're on the grounds and we're in position. You take position. Okay? The message of not repeating the cycles is also coming forward. If you know that you've been in a continual regeneration of the same cycles that was playing out for you and 10 years ago, Spirit is really desiring for you to dead these cycles under this portal, under this Sirius portal. And also under this Sirius portal, Spirit is also allowing those of you who have been obedient to your ascension and obedient to your journey to finally have access of the galactic areas or planets or places that you come from. All you have to do is tap in under this portal. If you've been desiring to know which constellation you're from, if you've been desiring to know what galactic tribe you're from, Spirit is saying before this portal closes, connect in, take a moment to sit and be present with Spirit, and your galactic family will step forward and give you instructions. Okay? How you get those instructions though, and how you become animated in those instructions that they give you is going to come at a cost of you not repeating the same cycles that you were in 10 years ago, or 5 years ago, or 2 weeks ago. Okay? Spirit is also sending a message through this song to not allow your losses to make you scared of changing. Spirit is saying, I don't care what you lost last season. I don't care what you lost last week. I don't care what you lost yesterday. Don't make the things that have been ridding themselves from around you. Don't let the things that Spirit has been actively disconnecting you from stop you from changing. Stay on the path of change. Stay on the path of growth, because it's getting you to and taking you to this world and these visions that you've been sitting down and creating and crafting on your own time. But Spirit is saying, don't lose faith in the changes. Okay? Don't lose faith and the transformation. Okay? Stay grounded in the transformation. Okay? Find peace in the transformation. Okay? Find your footing in the transformation. And Spirit is also saying under this Sirius Stargate portal that the things you go back to as this portal closes out around us, the things that you go back to this time, you're going to lose yourself. And you're going to lose yourself even greater than what you thought you lost yourself before last time. That's why Spirit is being very, very direct about not going back, about not looking back. Be in the mindset of Lot. Lot gave a very, Spirit gave Lot a very, very clear instructions. Where I send you, provision is waiting. Where I direct you to go, I've already laid the foundation. My only requirement from you is to not look back. And for many of you, as we close out this Sirius Stargate portal, many of you are going to look back, and it's going to cost you the future that you're walking into. And so Spirit is really sending home the message under this portal that if you try to go where Spirit brought you back out of, if you try to go back into places that Spirit severed the connection, you will lose yourself. And it will not be as easy to refine yourself as it was last time. It's going to take more work. It's going to take more pressure. It's going to take more crying. So it would behoove you to stay in position. Okay? Let's look really quickly. Hello to everybody coming in the room. Let's look really quickly at our tarot card pulls that came forward. The first card was Archangel Gabriel. This is the messenger of creativity and hope. And this card tells us that Gabriel speaks to you through your heart and your soul. Gabriel, which means God is my strength, guides hopeful parents into fertility and child conception. There's going to be a lot of babies that are going to be coming through this portal. And so for many of you who have been having trouble conceiving, Spirit is saying that you speak what it is that you desire under this portal. And in 2 months, what you ask Spirit for is going to show itself. And so if it's conception, if you've been having a very difficult time conceiving and you really desire children, Spirit is desiring, if you with your partner, as we close out and we're at the height of this portal, if you're with your partner, I would advise for you to engage in some sex magic. Conception and fertility is all under this portal. And even if it's not a physical child, the visions and the dreams that you desire to birth for yourself, Spirit is saying to speak it as we are at the height of this portal. And in the next few months, Spirit is going to allow you to see the physical manifestation of it because you use your faith to speak those things that be not as though they were. Okay? So Gabriel here, he is the angel of communication. He is giving us courage and strength. He is also the angel of the arts and is inspiring and motivating you into your creative pursuits. This card tells us that Gabriel's presence offers us enthusiasm and encouragement in our creative fields. And so if you are creating, if you are in a space of creating, if you are in a space of birthing your visions, and maybe you haven't worked on them in a while, Spirit is saying that right now, as we're under this portal, make reconnection. Okay? And that they're going to embed you with the enthusiasm that you lost. Okay? And for many of you, you lost your enthusiasm because you weren't getting the reception that you desired or that you felt like you should have gotten. And Spirit is asking you the question, are you doing it for people or are you doing it for your purpose? Because if you're doing it to stay on purpose and to operate in the highest capacity of your purpose, then you're going to do it even when nobody's watching. So Spirit is desiring for you to really decipher between why you're chasing the dreams that you're chasing. If you're chasing them for people or if you're chasing them because you believe and you have faith in the mission that Spirit set up for you during this lifetime. Who are you doing it for? Okay? So Gabriel is guiding artists as we're under this portal. He's guiding authors and musicians and dancers to reach their fullest potential and to live their purpose. This portal and this energy, if you are a creative and if you are an artist, try to take advantage of the last bit of energy under this portal. If you know that there's creative pursuits that you've been wanting to take on, initiate them under this portal tonight. Okay? I don't care if you initiate it tonight and you don't come back to it for another 2 weeks. Make the initiation. Just begin. Because under this portal, this Sirius portal is really activating the gateways back to your creativity. Okay? And reconnecting you back to the highest aspects of your potential. And so I really encourage my artists, my musicians, my authors, my dancers to really activate and alchemize with spirit under this Sirius portal, okay, that we're in. And then the last card pull for this energy is called Potential. And I love this card because if you also take a look at the card, the globe that's in front of her reminds me of the world. Okay? It reminds you, and it's a call for all of us to come into the understanding of the potential that we all have. Okay? What potential have you been sitting on? What potential have you not been fostering and cultivating? Okay? As you look at the world and the possibility of the world in front of you, I love that the angel is also right there too, as we just got finished connecting with Archangel Gabriel. And so there you see that you have protection over what it is that you're looking at. You're protected on what spirit is allowing for you to see into. The potential is there, but how will you alchemize and activate that potential? How will you yield and will that potential? Okay? This card right here tells us to think big for your future. I don't care what's collapsing and disintegrating around us. Think big for your future. What are you building? What are you being brave enough to conjure and to rebuild as we see the collapse and the fall happen around us? Or are you fixated and distracted by the fall? It's nothing to look at. It's falling. It's nothing to look at. It's not going to be anything to go back to. So what are you going to be building for you and for your tribe and for your family? Or are you going to continuously be distracted by the fall? So think big. Think upon your future is what this card tells us. Your creative and mental powers carry great potential. Your plans to expand your horizon are underway. And everything is progressing steadily. That spirit sending home the message again. I don't care what it look like around you. I don't care what it feels like around you. I don't care what obstacles is in your way. Everything is progressing just fine. Everything that you said that you wanted, every intention that you wrote down, every petition that you burned, they progressing. It's your faith that's holding them up, or the lack thereof in your faith that's holding you up. Okay? It's your mind going against the self. That's what's holding you up, because you don't really believe that you're going to get there. You don't really believe that you can have the things that you say that you want. And your spirit is saying right here that things are progressing steadily. It's nothing for you to worry about. It's nothing for you to be anxious over. Everything is progressing steadily, even in the collapse. Okay? Even in the tower moments, everything is progressing steadily. Are you steadily moving forward? Are you being consistent? Okay? Are you consistently rewriting the vision? Are you continuously speaking life to the vision? Are you continuously speaking life to the people around you that say we all taking a seat at this table? Or is somebody sitting at the table not really in belief of the things that you're building? Think bigger. Dream bigger. Conjure bigger. Worship bigger. Praise bigger. Dream bigger. Okay? Create bigger. This card tells us that your plans to expand your horizon are underway and everything is progressing steadily. Think and plan outside of your limitations. That's all I was talking about earlier. Think and plan outside of your limitations. Because what you set into motion, limitations have to move away from. What you truly stay focused on, obstacles and boundaries have to move out of your way. If you speak to the mountain that's in front of you and tell it to move, the only option that the mountain has to do is to move out of your way. That's it. It's to move out of your way. But you have to think and plan outside of the limitations. Are you thinking and are you playing? Or are you thinking and wishing? Are you thinking and putting action to the things that you say that you want? Or are you still lollygagging? Are you thinking and putting action into play? Or are you still sitting around people who are stifling your dreams? Are you thinking and putting action towards the plan? Or are you steady sitting around people that's still screaming, woe is me? That's still living in their traumas. That's still living in their regrets. That's still living in their childhood traumas. Or are you thinking and planning? Are you going before yourself to prepare a place? Or are you still sitting in place waiting for somebody to build it around you? Get up and think and build. Think and plan. Think and act. Faith without works means nothing. Faith without physical works means nothing. You must think, dream, see, know, and then plan. Take action. I don't care if it's one thing that you do every single day that's pushing you further towards the dreams that you desire to manifest. Think, plan, not believe, but know. But know. Not second guess, not be anxious, not be weary, but think, plan, and know. And watch spirit move and orchestrate on behalf of you. Watch spirit move the obstacles out of the way. Because here, our potential is telling us that our plans to expand our horizons is progressing steadily. This potential could be a study. Maybe some of you have studies that you want to take on. This potential could be business ventures or even travel. If you've been wanting to get up and go, but you're waiting on people to go, get up and go. Just go. Just travel. I don't care what it is. Just go. Think, plan, know, and get the fucking doing. Just get to doing it. Okay? Be ready, this card tells us. Be ready to take on challenges with a think big attitude, not a play small, not a play in small mindset. Be prepared to face every obstacle, knowing that the thinking that Spirit has equipped your mind with is going to help you overcome any obstacle that's placed in front of you. Be ready to take on challenges with a think big. I'm bigger than my circumstances. I'm bigger than my emotions. I'm bigger than my poverty. I'm bigger than my struggle. I'm bigger than the lack of belief of the people around me. I'm bigger than the limitations that I place on myself. I'm bigger. I'm grander. I'm more powerful. Okay? I'm bigger than any limitations that I placed on myself. I'm bigger. Okay? I'm bigger. Let's keep going. And the last thing that this card tells us, to empower yourself with more development and more self-exploration. And so one of the things that this portal, this Sirius Gateway portal is really empowering us with is more self-development and more self-exploration. And so one thing that we can be focusing on over the next 6 months is really discovering new things about ourselves, discovering greater depths of ourselves, and really doing our due justice to really explore the aspects that we have been putting off. Okay? To explore or to identify the aspects of yourself that you don't even know are there yet. So as we move across these next 6 months, really put yourself in the posture of self-discovery, okay, and self-exploration. Those are two of the gifts that we're taking away as we leave from the Sirius Stargate portal. And then the last thing that I want to do, and then I want to let y'all go, is I want to go over the wisdom from the sacred directions. Just 2 directions really quickly. The first one being the Southwest. When we look at the symbolism of the Southwest, it deals with our sexual and sensual self. And so over these next 6 months, Spirit is really going to be showing us how we can utilize our sexual nature or our sensual powers to propel us even greater into where we see ourselves going, or even greater into the visions or the dreams that we've set up for ourselves. Or if your sexual nature has been out of balance, Spirit is desiring for you to tap into the sensual aspects of yourself so that you can bring your sexuality into harmony. If you have been battling with your sexuality, right, or battling with your spiritual self versus your sensual self, Spirit is saying that you don't gotta battle it. How can you integrate the two to work on behalf of you? The Southwest also. What I'm hearing right now as well is that as we leave out of this portal, Spirit has already really been dealing with us in relation to the sexual abuse of women, the sexual abuse of children, okay? The sexual abuse that we inflict on ourselves, the sexual abuse that we subjugate ourselves to. Many of you think that a lot of things that you've introduced and that you've taken on as being an aspect of your sexual nature or your sensual self is actually doing more of a disservice to you. And it's actually pulling you way more out of connection than reconnecting you to the aspects of yourself, or reconnecting you to the power that you think that you only have access to when you're in your sexual nature, or you're operating in your sexuality. For some of you, Spirit is challenging or charging you to bring your sexuality or your sexual nature into balance. You don't got to be out here fucking everything. You don't even have to be out here giving everybody even a taste of your sexual nature or your sensual nature. Spirit is saying for a lot of you, it's time for you to lock down your sexual nature because it's been too overactive. The Southwest also deals with being open to pleasure. And so I love this because I think that we for us as a collective, we're experiencing 2 aspects of the world. For many people, they're going to be caught in the judgment of the Divine Mother. And then for those on the other side, the Divine Mother is charging us to pick up our pleasures, to understand our pleasures, to understand that we are deserving of our pleasures. How can you bring more pleasure into your life? How can you introduce more pleasure around you? How can you experience pleasure differently? The Southwest also deals with the connection between the heart and the pelvis. I feel like this goes back to what I was saying earlier, really bringing our sexual nature and our sensual nature back into harmony. Okay, how is the connection between your heart and your pelvis meaning your heart chakra, okay, and your sacral chakra. How are they out of balance over these next 6 months? These are going to be two of the areas where Spirit is really going to be focusing change and transformation around. Is going to be as it relates to the individual stuff, but it's also going to see, we're going to see the connection between the heart chakra and the sacral chakra play itself out on a collective level. Heart matters. Foundation, rooting, the foundation of our structures, the foundation of our sexual needs. For many of you, the activation of your dreams and your desires are going to be connected to you making reconnection between the heart chakra and the sacral chakra. How can you integrate the two? For many of you, that's the last thing that you need. That's the last connection that you need. The integration of the heart and the sacral chakra. And for many of you who don't understand the disconnect as it relates to the heart and the sacral chakra, Spirit is saying by the time the sun rises in the morning, you're going to have more clarity on how to reconnect or make connection between those two aspects of you, the heart and the pelvis, or the heart chakra and the sacral chakra. The Southwest also deals with being heartbroken or the breaking of the heart. For many of you, Spirit is desiring for you to release the things that worry you, or to release the things that broke you, or to release the things that feel broken, the aspects of you that feel broken. For some of you, it has nothing to do with other people. For some of you, you broke your own heart. So how can you forgive yourself? How can you release that brokenness as we come out of this Sirius Gate portal? The Southwest also deals with overly seeking sexual activity. I just talked about that earlier. So really coming back into connection or balancing any aspects of our sexual nature that may be overactive or unbalanced. Okay. And then the last direction that I want to deal with is the direction of the East. The East deals with new beginnings, and I love that because for a lot of us, this Sirius Stargate portal is offering us new beginnings, challenging us to take on a new beginning, or challenging us to be acceptive and receptive of the new beginning. The spirit totem that deals with the direction of the East is the eagle. The animal totem of the eagle really teaches us about bravery, about wisdom, and about higher vision. These are three aspects of areas where Spirit is really going to be dealing with us. How are you going to be brave in your own life moving forward? How will you use wisdom, okay, in this new beginning? Okay, and how will you allow your higher vision to serve you for where Spirit is sending you? Okay, some crystals that you can work with that corresponds to the direction of the East is labradorite, citrine, or lapis. The East also governs spiritual awakening. So for a lot of you, there is a higher elevation or a deepening into the spiritual awakening that you've already found yourself in. And then for others, you're going to just be awakening as we come out of or transition out of this Sirius Stargate portal. Okay, so the East governs spiritual awakenings. That's dealing with new beginnings. The East also deals with moving to higher levels of awareness, okay, and of spiritual wisdom. Okay, so this Sirius Stargate portal is offering us higher levels of awareness. How will you utilize these higher level of awareness that Spirit is gifting you under this Stargate portal? Okay, Spirit is also challenging us to, somebody needs to get a book. Somebody needs a book and needs to start jotting down the spiritual wisdom that's been coming to you over the last 3 days. Somebody is not writing down and journaling the messages and the conversation and the communication that Spirit has been having with you over the last 3 days. You need to get your book and you need to listen. And you need to write down what Spirit is saying to you, because it's going to serve you in the next 6 months. The East corresponds or translates etymology-wise into meaning to shine. And so for many of you, as we come out of this Stargate portal, maybe you found yourself really subdued or really playing behind the scenes. And the Spirit is saying that as we leave this portal, the only thing that you're going to be walking into is the spotlight. It's time for you to shine. And it's time for you to embrace that light. Not play small under the light. Not try to bring other people into the light with you so that the focus is not on you. Spirit is saying get comfortable shining. Get ready to shine. Get comfortable blinding all the people that said you wouldn't do it. And Spirit don't even want you to make you accomplishing your goal about other people, but Spirit wants you to get comfortable shining in front of the people that said that you wouldn't do it, that said that you wouldn't accomplish it, that said that you wouldn't take on this new beginning, that said that you would crumble under this new beginning. Spirit is saying, get ready to shine. The East represents the element of air. We've been talking about communication all night. Those of you who will watch the playback, you will see that communication came up a lot. And so the East deals with air, with the element of air. We're in the age of Aquarius. And so this is really dealing with all of our communication, dealing with what it is that you know, not what it is that you believe, but what it is that you know. And out of what you know, how will you be brave enough to speak those truths? How will you be brave enough to communicate your new findings to the world around you? How will you communicate your new findings to yourself? The East represents inspired vision. It corresponds to foresight. It corresponds to liberation. It corresponds to the breaking of old patterns. And it also corresponds to living mindfully. These are all the things that we are taking away with us as we leave this portal. Are you going to be willing to break old patterns? Okay? Are you going to be willing to do your work? Are you going to be willing to take on a higher level of thinking? Are you going to be accepting of the inspired vision that Spirit is giving to you? Or are you going to waste it? Okay? Spirit is offering all of us an opportunity to live more mindfully, to be more mindful of your actions, to be more mindful of your words, to be more mindful of the blueprint that you're leaving behind, or the thumbprint that you're leaving behind, or the fingerprint that you're making. And Spirit is asking, do y'all really want this liberation? Do y'all really want this liberation? Or is it just something to talk about as the cycles come and go? Spirit is, y'all really want this freedom? Do y'all really want this change? Because if you want this change and you really want this liberation, you're going to have to ask for it as we leave this portal. You're going to have to ask for it. The Divine Mother is saying, I'm not divvying out no more gifts that nobody wants. I'm not divvying out no more fruits of the Spirit and ain't nobody going to pick it up. I'm not wasting the spirit of transformation when nobody's going to take it on. Are you really ready for this liberation? The East also reminds us to remain in the now. Get out of the past. Stop being fixated on the future. Be present right now. What can you change and implement right now? How can you dream bigger right now? How can you think bigger right now? How can you create differently right now? How can you stabilize yourself right now? How can you settle yourself right now? The East also deals with self-love. It deals with rebirth. It deals with purification. The East also deals with enlightenment, open space, doors and windows. Somebody needs to leave their window open tonight. Leave your window open tonight. There's a spirit that has been trying to get to you. And spirit is saying, leave the window open tonight. I don't know who that's for. And last but not least, the East deals with initiations and it deals with illuminations. And so one thing as we close that this Sirius Stargate portal is really doing for us is really initiating us into the next phase of ourselves. And in this initiation, Spirit is really asking if you're ready for the things, if we're ready for the things that are going to be illuminated. And if you're not ready for the things that are going to be illuminated, how can you put yourself in the position to receive it? Because it's going to come with or without your permission. With or without your permission. And so I encourage you all to sit with this energy and to really decide for yourself what the world looks like as you move forward. What does this potential that you hold in your hand, what does it look like? What does it feel like? And how will you yield the power of it to not only shift and transform the world around you, but most importantly, how will you use it to shift and transform the world within you? Okay? And so I thank everybody. Hello to everybody who came into the room. I thank you all for taking the time to just sit with me for a few as we close out this Sirius Stargate portal. And just for coming into the room and sharing space with me. I hope that you all will be able to take something away from this message that came forward tonight. And if there is something that sparks an inspired thought and you feel led to share it, I encourage you guys to drop your comments under this video once it's posted. And if you feel a little shy to do that, feel free to meet me in my DM and we can finish the conversation there. But I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you guys for all of the love that we've been receiving as we get ready to really open this storefront with a few of our friends over here in Arizona. Ted the Incense Man, an indigenous descent, also known as Kemet. These are very, very good friends of ours over here in Arizona. They have really welcomed us and have been an instrumental part of the elevation that's happening not only around us, you know, not only collectively, but also individually. And so, you know, we really thank y'all for rocking with us. We thank each and every new person who has become a part of the sanctuary here at Howlin' Spices. We give thanks to all of you who have been rocking with us over the last almost 3 years. For many of you, y'all have been around from the very beginning of this journey, before we even made our way here to Arizona. And this apothecary here really started as a faith or an act of a mustard seed faith, you know, not knowing how Spirit was going to allow this vision to play out for us, not knowing where the resources will come from, you know, not knowing who will come along to help us achieve it, and not even knowing if we had the capacity or the divine mind or the emotional intelligence to be able to stay committed to this journey over here at Howlin' Spices, you know, to the mission of Howlin' Spices. And so we really thank y'all for always rocking with us, even if it's just a word of encouragement, whether it be an order that comes in, or whether it be through the feedback that you guys bring us in relation to the transformation that you experience when you come over to the sanctuary and you interact and engage with us, or you take time to watch our lectures. We appreciate every bit of vibration that y'all send to us. And we really look forward to continuously taking y'all on this journey with us. Y'all know that I said that we were taking a break for a little bit from Art of Ritual. But there's one more episode that I want to do before I close it down officially. That I'm going to come back and do part 2 of Like Body, Like Mind. And so I'm really going to try to come back this Sunday and finish that up so that we can handle what it is that we need to handle and we're able to get back. We have so many things that are happening and in play right now, so y'all bear with us. Send us all of your energy and keep your intention for us. Keep calling it and setting those intentions on behalf of us into the universe. We hear your prayers. We hear your blessings. We can feel your intentions of success for us. We can feel your prayers of love for us. And, just continue to work with us and to come along with us for this ride. We got so many fun things and exciting things to show y'all and to introduce y'all to over here at the sanctuary. And so I'm going to get off of here. I hope that you guys are able to take something away from this quick impromptu live from tonight. And I hope that you all also enjoyed and was able to really find time to connect under this Sirius Stargate portal as well. And so until next time, y'all know I talk too much. So until next time, y'all, peace.